Alright, so far I've talked about Sonic 1, Sonic 2, Sonic CD, Sonic 3, Sonic & Knuckles, Sonic 3D Blast, and Knuckles Chaotix. Barring Game Gear games, these titles make up the classic Sonic era. However, what if I told you that there was another classic Sonic game that I haven't talked about yet? That's right, today I'm talking about Super Mario. Nah, I'm just kidding with you. This video we're going to be talking about Sonic Mania and its sequel, Sonic Superstars. I remember when Sonic Mania came out, I didn't have a Nintendo Switch, so I wasn't able to play the game, which bummed me out because the game looked awesome. They took some of the best classic Sonic levels and completely redid them. Then they added in new music, new mechanics. These aren't just copy and pasted old levels, they completely redid them with brand new routes and areas to explore. The music in this game is amazing. Metallic Madness Zone, Stardust Speedway, Mirage Saloon, Crest Garden, all of these levels are full of great music. Titanic Monarch Zone sometimes sounds too much like ambient music, but once the song gets going, it gets going. It goes from to Mirage Saloon Zone is one of the best levels in the game. If you play as Sonic or Tails, you're flying around in the sky the whole level, but if you play as Knuckles, you fall off the plane and get to play a totally different level. The music changes too, and let me tell you, this is one of the best songs in the whole game. I'm generally not a fan of Western-themed things, but man is this level good. This song was actually based on a cut level from Sonic 2, and I'm glad it got a second chance at life since it's really fun. The bosses for this zone are also really cool. You fight this magician robot that turns these small caterpillar robots into bigger ones, sort of like how Kamek and Mario uses magic in the Wii game to help the Koopalings out. I think my favorite one out of all of these is Roy's stage when he's going up the pipes. Iggy has a great level too. I really like how they use the chain chump. Morton was not that bad. The World 3 castle was fun, but then you get to Wendy, and now Wendy's not a very good boss. I really don't get why they had to put the hardest boss battle known to man in the middle of the game. It's not even that fun to play, it's just slow and painful. Then in the second act, the magician transforms into different obscure Sonic characters. You've got Nack the Weasel, Bean the Burrito, Bark the Polar Bear. I bet you didn't even know who Bark the Polar Bear was before you clicked on this video. This is one of my only gripes with the game. Right after you beat Mirage Saloon Zone, you get thrown into Oil Ocean Zone, which, as you may know from my classic Sonic games video, is another desert level. The zone itself is fine, I don't think it's bad or anything, and I do enjoy seeing the Sandopolis level element showing up again, but the placement of the level is questionable in my opinion. Then, right after you're done with that, you get thrown into Lava Reef Zone, which personally is my least favorite level out of Sonic 3 and Knuckles. I don't hate it, but it's just not my type of thing. The level transition from Mirage Saloon Zone to Oil Ocean is pretty cool though. Same with Oil Ocean to Lava Reef Zone. A lot of the transitions in this game are really good. There's one in Flying Battery Zone where when you beat the level, you get to glide off the airship in a hang glider which takes you to Crest Garden Zone. Then later on, when you're done with the first act of Mirage Saloon Zone, Nack shows up out of nowhere and shoots you out of the sky. Now, while not all of the transitions in the game are as good as these ones, they definitely make the levels feel more connected to one another. All in all, the game's pretty fun. Similar to Sonic 3, you can unlock a bonus level if you get all 7 TAS Emeralds. The level itself is really fun to play through. Normally you can only play through it as Sonic, but by using in-game cheat codes you're able to play through it using other characters. Something I actually noticed about the TAS Emeralds is that the colors all correspond to a classic Sonic character. With the exception of Amy, Mighty, and Ray. You know, I guess Sega just forgot that these guys existed. You can actually play as Ray and Mighty in this game via DLC. Both of them get new abilities here. Mighty can do a ground pound and Ray can glide in the air, similar to Mario when he gets a cape power-up in Super Mario World. Something interesting about these guys is that they were actually planned to be playable in Sonic Heroes. They were going to be on a team with Metal Sonic, but that ended up not happening. I remember they did this short 5-part animated series when the game came out. These animations were nice. I like how they've been doing new ones every time a new game releases. They even did one for the racing game that introduces Dodonpa the Tanuki. Did you guys know that Tanukis are actually real? I swear, I had no idea that they were real for the longest time. I always thought that they were just made-up animals. I had no idea that they existed in real life. The other thing you get with the DLC is Encore Mode, where each level in the game gets a brand new color palette. You get to play Green Hill Zone in the afternoon, which admittedly doesn't really sound that cool, but trust me, it is. There are a couple other tweaks that they made to levels in order to accommodate the new characters, but the palette swaps are really the main attraction. The last thing I want to talk about is the Metal Sonic battle, which starts off really slow, but then it throws you into this. I hope they start bringing him back into the game soon. I think he's really underutilized. After I finished Sonic Mania, my wishlist for a sequel consisted of a game with all brand new levels, an overworld where you could select the levels from, and 12 playable characters. I'm pretty sure I was thinking of these guys. Hey guys, I'm editing the video right now and I actually remembered that I wanted 16 characters in this game. So, A lot of wishful thinking going on. I remember I wanted Nack to be playable along with Bean and Bark, and I'm pretty sure Tangle was the 16th character because I found out about her and I thought that she was just really cool. I then forgot about this for a long time, but then, one day, I was watching YouTube and then I got the Sonic commercial. I'm thinking to myself, oh, it's a new Sonic game. I like Sonic games, so this will probably be... Is that Nack the Weasel? They teased Nack the Weasel right at the end of the commercial and immediately I was sold. Then, the game came out, and you know what? This game was actually pretty good. I think my biggest complaint about the game is how mixed the music is. You go from hearing something like this to this. The bad songs in this game aren't horrible, but they definitely are a step down from Sonic Mania's music. They introduced a new character in this game called Trip. Now, there's going to be some spoilers from here on out, so if you want to play this game, go try it out for yourself and then come back to this video. Now, when you play the game, Trip is working with Nack to try and find the dragon that Eggman is hunting for. However, it turns out that Trip actually is the dragon that Nack is hunting down. When you beat the game for the first time, you unlock Trip as a playable character, which is pretty cool. Visually, she jumps similar to Vector in that she turns into a ring whenever she's in the air, but she can also climb up walls like Knuckles and do a double jump like Amy. The final boss in her story is MegamanNG, which is pretty cool. I've been a fan of Nack the Weasel for a while now, and so it was cool to see him be the final boss in her story. Once you beat MegamanNG, however, you unlock the final story, in which Sonic has to use the power of the TAS Emeralds to fight this giant purple dragon, which, you know, it is a Sonic game after all. Overall, I had a lot of fun playing this game, you know? Except for the ice boss, and Act 2 of Pinball Carnival, and Act 2 of Egg Fortress Zone, which, as much as I like the MegamanNG battle, it takes like 2 years to actually reach it because you have to redo the whole level again if you close out of the game. Why couldn't MegamanNG just be his own level? One of my favorite levels, though, is Act 2 of Frozen Base Zone. The whole level is a homage to Level 1 of Fantasy Zone. I remember playing the game and immediately realizing what they were doing. The ship you use changes depending on which character you play as too, which is a nice little touch. Something interesting about Fantasy Zone is that the protagonist, Opa Opa, who you may know from Sonic and Sega All-Stars Racing, actually served as an inspiration for Nack's design. Compared to my expectations, this game has 12 brand new zones, an overworld, a hard mode, and 4 playable characters, plus a brand new character you unlock for beating the game. It may not have the Mania art style, or the Mania music, or the Mania physics, or Mighty and Ray from Sonic Mania, but do you know what it does have? Nack the Weasel, baby.